Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
If you've been hurt in a road accident that wasn't your fault, you should really talk to G4 Claims first. Unlike road accident solicitors, we don't charge you for our services, which could see you better off. To keep 100% of your compensation, have a chat with Nicole and the team. You'll be glad you did. Search online for G4 Claims.
Keep 100% of your claim. G4 Claims.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Sellik the Thunder podcast. We're finally back in the studio after a couple of weeks. There's been an international break. There's been some drama in between. But today, for the first time in what feels like a long time, it's a Derby preview podcast. So it's nice to see you all. I'm joined by my two very excited guests, I'd imagine. I'll start with you, to the left of me, nodding your head away. McGinlay. You've got that grin on your face. Is this you preparing to drop something like, I think we're going to win 6-0 this weekend?
Absolutely not. No. I'm actually quite tired, to be honest.
I think we are, to be fair.
Yeah,
shattered.
It's just I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's getting used to the fact that it's light outside. You know, it's a changing of the seasons.
A change of the clocks.
Maybe it's that hour less. Still trying to find it, but yeah, looking forward to being back on the pod talking about the Glasgow Derby preview. And yeah, getting into it.
And on the left hand side, it is the drowning in uni work Kieran Auld.
I must be cutting a solemn figure, man. Just thinking about everything.
Every time you're on the podcast recently, I feel like it's just been dissertation.
I know, to be fair, that's pretty much all life has been the past couple of months. But I mean, we're in the final push now, 15th of April, and then that's it done.
Nearly there. I mean, we all had a good weekend, to be fair. We were all at the Tony Macaroni, all three of us. Ryan, you were in press. I mean, we're not going to take too long to dwell on it. I don't really want to. But how was your weekend there? Did you enjoy what you seen?
Apart from losing my plug in the press room,
don't leave things at your ass, son.
I know, but you see, when you're focusing on getting so many things finished, you always forget something. That's me lost 2 cables and a plug in probably as many weeks.
You forget your head if it wasn't screwed onto your body.
Yeah, forget my balls if they weren't in a sack. That's probably the PG rating out the window. But yeah, it was good to be at Livingston. Really hospitable club, which was really nice. Managed to do the post match in their bar as well, which was quite nice.
To get you a free pint?
I had a Coke.
But did they offer alcoholic refreshment?
I don't want to throw them under the bus. No, that was only like they said you can have anything you want, but right. I wanted a can of Coke. So thank you very much to Livingston. It was a good day. 3 points, 3 goals, and the return of Rio. So no complaints whatsoever from me.
We had a very alcoholic driven day out, Kieran.
I'm only just recovered, man, but
it was good though.
I know, it was
the last dance.
Good at the time. Last time we got an away ticket on our books because Livy are destined for the drop, but. It was good while it lasted.
It was, and it will be sadly missed. But listen, the plastic park has to go, and so does David Martindale. So farewell, Livingston Football Club. It's been nice knowing you. We are recording our Derby preview today on Wednesday, the 3rd of April. Yes, it's a bit early. There's no team news. There's no breaking stories. There's no injury updates or whatever because it's a bit too early. However, as many of you will probably know, I'm through the channel, I'm not going to be here, so we need to record early so we can get it out there. I will be in the US of A watching the Derby. So, and a lot of people ask me questions in regards to that, so we'll get to it in the Twitter Q&A. Let's just get into it. I mean, this is it. This could be the biggest day in the season, the biggest day in recent memory when it comes to determining who will be champions. I'll start with you, Kieran, over on the left. Quite simply, I'll ask the question to start off. Is this the biggest derby that you can remember in a long, long time? Because for me, I feel like it is. I
think you kind of shy away from the fact because we're now looking at the fact that there's so little in it at the top. It means everything. If it goes well, then we could be on a real title charge. If we get beat, then could you go as far to say as that's it done? So, I mean, it feels like the season does hinge on Sunday, and I hate the fact there is that much pressure in the game, but we've only got ourselves to blame for putting ourselves in this position. And making it so tight, especially for such a position of strength. But I think the team are up for it. I think there's encouraging signs coming back to the international break that we might be starting to put a bit of play together, but could just go out the window. It's a different kettle of fish when you're playing a team that you're fighting for the league title. So we'll see when it comes to Sunday how well prepared we are, but I think Brendan will be setting the team up to go and win.
Yeah, we need to win. We need to.
I've seen a lot of people saying they'd take a draw. I mean, you would take it, but for me, it has to be a win.
We'll probably come on to talking about the result later on, because I guess there is that question of, would you be happy with a draw? Should it end the draw? Would you be okay with it? But we'll come to that. Ryan, just talk about the magnitude of the game itself. What Kieran's touched on, you can add to that. But I feel now heading into this game a lot more confident than what I may have been 3-4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. I think that Celtic have probably done a good job on the pitch of putting some confidence back into the fans in preparation for what is now the run-in. We're going to have to play them twice, and there was a point in this season where you probably wouldn't have wanted to see us play Rangers at all, but I think they've started to recover that a wee bit.
Yeah, we'd agree with that, and I think it comes hand in hand with having players like Carter Vickers and Hatate back in the team. Calum McGregor obviously still yet to see if he will come back for the game. You would assume that he would if he's back in training anytime this week. You're hoping for Celtic to maybe drop a social media thing showing him in training, maybe like an early preview or something, just to set the tone a wee bit, to let you know that right, the captain's back in full training. That makes him sound as if he's a different thing altogether, that Calum. Yeah, but if the captain's back in training, then I think it will go a long way to sort of getting that positive momentum. I think the momentum is with Celtic at the moment, I'll be honest, even though Rangers got that one against Hibernian. I think in recent games Celtic have looked like they're back on form, they're back in a good place. I know it's only the one game since the international break, but they dispatched of Livingston without any problems whatsoever. It was very, very comfortable. I don't even think Livingston had a corner in the game.
Don't remember having a chance. A corner.
And that might be down to the opposition, but I thought Celtic did well.
It's like that one of the wins, people all turn around and say, you're like, oh, don't get it, it's Livingston for God's sake. But you can play what's in front of you. You
get criticism if you don't win those games. So they beat what was in front of them, and they beat them quite comfortably. Even when it was nothing each at half time, I was like, they're going to score in the second half. They just need to keep on doing what they're doing. The sort of injustice of not getting that penalty didn't linger long in their minds, which was good, and they got the 3 points. But back to the game at Ibrox on Sunday, I just think that Celtic have got so much, there seems to be this confidence. I don't know if it's well placed or not, but I feel pretty good about this game for some reason. I haven't been feeling great about games even in the recent past, so something's changed. I don't know if that's Carter Vickers coming back, Hatate coming back, McGregor potentially coming back. These are all match winners. These guys have won matches before for Celtic. In the Glasgow derby, Hatate, those 2 goals on his Glasgow derby debut. Carter Vickers, that 2-1 victory. Calum McGregor this season almost single-handedly pulling the team to 2 wins in the middle of the park. I know Kyogo had a big part to do with both those wins too, but these are big players, big moments. They've done it, and let's see them do it again.
Now, does that change your perspective on the game at all, Kieran? I mean, I think out of the 3 of us, I think all of us have been cynical at points in the season, and I think 3 of us have been very blatantly honest with what our thoughts of specific games have been. But I would say that maybe out of the 3 of us, you've been the one that's been most critical of maybe the manager and some of the players. Does it help you now, just mentally looking at these games, seeing Hatate back, seeing McGregor back, seeing seeing Vickers back full fitness, just seeing players return that we've missed to a dramatic extent this season?
I know, I mean, I have been critical of the way that we've been set up at times this season, because frankly it's not been good enough for a large part of this season. But we're now in the final push. You need to back the team, back the manager, and you've got to trust, especially with the players that we've just discussed coming back, how massive that is, because we have missed them big time this season, been sparingly been able to use them. So to be able to have that team for what is the final run of games, and especially for going to Ibrox on Sunday, because McGinlay said they're match winners and the players that have came back, but you have got a wee bit more faith now. You were talking about it there. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's just naivety.
I think that times had a lot to do with it. See, because there's been an international break and stuff like that.
I think maybe you've been allowed to get yourself up for it again, and the performance at the weekend, I would never first half never really came off, but the second half showed that we can break down teams, we can score goals. And I mean, even just the way Rangers will set up against us, Rangers are, well, unless they go out and sit and park the bus, but they're not going to set up the same way that other teams set up against Celtic. But they're going to go out and try to win the game. So I think that suits Celtic playing against a team that's more open. Obviously, you're more susceptible to get goals scored into you, but I think some of the best performances we've seen out of certain players this season is when we've been up against them.
Aye, I was saying about Kyogo earlier.
Like, because Kyogo's been really off the boil this season, but I mean, how many? Is that 3 goals in the last 2 games against them?
Aye, he loves
and
it.
if you want to hark back further to last season, so hopefully he can be a big game player this Sunday, because we're going to need him to step up to the play. I really wanted him to get a goal on Sunday there.
Yeah, just like confidence.
But I mean, I don't know. I still think he'll be right up front, and I think he can cause problems.
Kyogo's going to need to do something he hasn't done in nearly 6 months. Score a league goal away from home. It's been since October against Hearts.
That's
at
crazy.
Tynecastle. That's a
insane,
crazy record, and it's one that I just found out today because I was sub-editing a piece that Tony did. Shout out to Tony. He was saying it's been just under 6 months since Kyogo scored an away league goal. Yes, he did score at the Smythe Stadium in the Scottish Cup, but in the league it was that 4-1 victory against
that's crazy.
Against Hearts.
It's just noticed out of character for him, innit?
It's been that sort of season though for him.
Aye, I think that Kieran's touched on it well, in the fact that, you know, you're playing a team who are far more open. I think that when you've got players like Maida and Kuhn alongside, well, it depends who you think is going to start in the front three, right? But if you've got players like Maida and Kuhn starting alongside them, for example, I think that, you know, Rangers have to be a lot more wary of what they can do down the wings. That maybe draws some attention away from Kyogo. It's just a more open game when you play. That's why he's scored against Rangers 3 times this season. That's why he's scored in Europe as well this season, because when you're playing these teams who are ultimately going to be a bit more open, you're going to find a bit more luck. That's just the way that Kyogo, you know, he takes advantage of these situations, the way he plays. But I think there's a few factors leading into this. I mean, I guess, you know, you look at our form as of late. You know, we've won 4 of our last 5. The loss was to Hearts, and I think it was a loss that didn't gather the same attention as usual because we knew the circumstances of the loss. We went down to 10 men. It was Tynecastle. VAR was a sham that day. And then you look at Rangers, who are in similar form as well. They're 4 and 5. Their loss came to Motherwell. So I think going into it, it is just maybe for the first time this season, it feels like there's a kind of even feel going into it. Nobody's overperforming, nobody's really underperforming either. Don't know. Just
how does it make you feel? But like, we're talking about maybe feeling a bit more positive going into this game, but the 2 times we've beat them this season, I went into both of those games pretty fearful. And I'm like,
I know.
And then we won. I'm like, now I'm going in thinking we're playing a bit better, but I don't know.
Does the nature of the beast in this game though maybe change it because we know what's on the line? Because I think the first 2 games it was like, right, you can be fearful, but it's not the end of the world. Whereas this game is like, if they win, and should we touch on that? I mean, I don't want to make this podcast the fucking doom and gloom dread hour, but
it's a real pause. But
what happens if we lose this weekend?
It's then not in your hands, and you're relying on favours for other teams that you really can't rely on. It's happened a couple of times, but I just don't think we can expect any help. We need to do it ourselves and make sure if we were to go and win on Sunday that we don't slip up against another team.
Aye, because just to put it into perspective for the listeners right now, and we'll touch on this, if Celtic were to lose, Rangers would then go 2 points clear of us at the top of the table and then have their game in hand against Dundee, which you're assuming will be a win. It would put Rangers 5 points clear with 7 games to play, McGinlay, if we don't win. Oh, sorry, if we lose.
I think it's a must win on Sunday. I'll be perfectly
What is your opinions on a draw?
Take a draw for 2-0 down with about 20 minutes to go.
Right.
You're getting to that point where it's emergency stations, and if you can get something out of the game, if you can stop Rangers from winning the game, then so be it. If a draw is the best possible outcome, but it is very much last resort. Celtic have got to go to Ibrox and win, in my opinion, just for the way this. I think momentum completely changes if Celtic win this game, because not only if you win that game do you go 4 points clear, you then put the onus back on Rangers in a pressurised situation against a team that, you know, apart from their game against Rangers earlier on in the season, have been pretty good at home in Dundee. All of a sudden there turns a lot of pressure on that, whereas there isn't any pressure on them if Rangers win, because you would then go and expect Rangers to go and win that game at Dens Park and make it an even bigger gap between the two sides. So for me, they've got to go out and win. It's not a must not lose game for me. I've heard that phrase getting thrown about quite a bit. It's a must win. I think every game against Rangers is a must win.
Yeah.
As a Celtic,
I hate seeing us not beat Rangers. It's horrible.
If they can win the game, then so be it. Win the game. But if they're losing and a draw is an acceptable result given where they are at that point in time, then it's fine. But go for the win and try and
go for the jugular.
Yeah, just go for the jugular. Aye, absolutely.
I'd be greeting if we lose. No, it's going to be such a weird one for me because I'm obviously watching it like 7 in the morning. I'll be half asleep. Like yous will be feeling it properly, whereas me, I'll be in a big comfy bed. Nah, I'm joking. I don't know where my nerves lie. I don't know. It's not hit me yet.
I think if you asked me Saturday night, I think I'd be a lot better. I feel like the game's still in my head feels quite far away now because it is a fair few days now. But I feel like the severity of the game, even though we've spoke about it, I don't think it's fully sunk in. Yeah.
See, I thought my nerves had gone, obviously just because of, like who I work for, or the fact that I write about Celtic.
Yeah.
I thought the nerves had gone, but that day, the last game, in the morning, it just hits you. It never ever leaves you. That nerves.
I've always been
and it's a good nerve because you know how big the game is, but my God, you feel awful before it.
Yeah, you do.
You feel fine on kick-off because you know, right, this is the 90 minutes, you've got to do it. Well, maybe some of you's doing, some of you's don't. I know
I don't think I calm down when it kicks off.
For me, every derby's always the same for me. I feel like I don't feel anything until the whistle goes, and then I'm like, right, okay, now I'm shitting it a bit. But then it goes away again 10 minutes later, and then it's circumstantial after that for me. Celtic score nice and early, I don't feel like at all. I'm like, nice, we're winning the day. But I don't know. I'm not a nervous guy. It's weird. But should we talk about, because obviously I want to try and get things wrapped up pretty quick tonight because I've got a flight in a few hours, well not a few hours, but I've got to leave for a flight in a few hours time. Do we talk about some of the players? I don't want to do a full starting 11 prediction today because that's my spoiler alert, that's my video for Friday because I had to pre-record something. But I guess there's a couple of areas that we need to talk about. One, starting is the midfield. What three would you like to see? What three do you think it's got? Do you think it's as straightforward as what Brendan Rodgers has made it look after Sunday?
I mean, I think it's going to be really harsh to drop Iwata for the game, but I think for the sake of what roles you need played in that midfield, I don't think he's going to play. If McGregor's back, I don't think he's starting him and Iwata.
Aye.
I think both have got a part to play. If both are fit, we know one of them is going to be fit in Tomoki Iwata. If Calum McGregor's fit, he plays.
He starts.
He's the captain.
Aye.
You don't not play the captain.
You can't leave the veterans out.
No, absolutely.
This is a guy. This is the thing. This is what I've said about Iwata. Right, I'll say my point. And I'll listen. I really like Iwata, and he's been great. I'm not taking anything away from him, but this game is arguably the biggest domestic game we've had in the best part of a decade. And in a decade, and you need to be trusting your captain and the veteran, the guy who's won trophy after trophy. I mean, how many trophies has McGregor won now? He's one of the most decorated Celtic players of all time. I just think that Iwata in this game will have a part to play, but it's not the part that Calum McGregor has. It's as simple as that for me.
Here's the thing. What if he plays both of them?
I would be stunned.
Iwata and then McGregor and further forward.
I know, that's what I was thinking.
Now, the only thing that I could put that towards, two players coming back from injury so soon. I know Hatate played the 60-65 minutes.
Aye.
McGregor's just came back from an injury. Hatate's just came back from an injury. It is a massive game, and you need to catch the flow of the game so quickly. If you don't catch it quickly, then you'll get run over the top of. That's just that game.
No, I get that. That's fair. That's fair. I just don't think that Rodgers would have started Hatate without the intention of playing him this weekend.
I feel like if he never started on Sunday, we wouldn't have seen him against Rangers. But
to be fair, he played a bounce game as well, so he must be ready.
He must be, and I think you can see the quality in him straight away when we were all there. I just think that there was a reason for starting him, and it was the intent of getting him ready for this.
If he's only got 60 minutes in him,
That's fine, because then you've got a good sub. You've got a good sub there. Wait, you've got a couple. You've got Bernardo, who scored at the weekend as well. You've got a couple of decent players waiting to come on and replace him. And
Bernardo, who has Glasgow Derby experience,
scored in the Glasgow
as
Derby
well. So all of a sudden, and I know we'll talk about our team predictions or whatever, but there's options in a lot of positions. That wasn't the case at the start of the season, and Celtic beat Rangers twice when they didn't have options. And so maybe this is where the confidence is coming from, because there's actual debates to have on who should be playing in games. Even at right wing, there was basically one player there, and then if he wasn't fit, then you didn't know who was going to play there. Now there's two viable options. There's viable midfield options, even strikers as well. Yeah, even though I think we all know who's going to be starting the game, but there is options.
You're right in what you're saying though. There's options. That's always good. Competition's healthy, first of all, and then second of all, you don't want to be going into a title deciding game without anybody that can change again.
It also means you've got changes to make it 60 minutes. If it isn't necessarily working, you can sort of rejig the plan and put the not the second team, not the B team, but those players that are on the bench that didn't exactly make the first team, they can come on and then prove why they should have been in the first team in the first place.
Kieran, any team selection points on your mind in terms of players who you're excited to see, players that you think need to rise to the occasion, just general team selection points?
I think it'll be a big game for Kieran, to be honest, because he's been shown flashes. A good link up with him and Alistair Johnson as well down that right hand side, especially on Sunday. So you've seen like it got written off really quickly, I think, because of the circumstance of how things were going at Celtic, and he was getting judged off a wee bit parts, even though like, he did score at Pittodrie and things like that. But I mean, now's the time to really step up in a game. You're not playing against Livingston anymore. You're playing against the team that you're fighting for the title. So it's going to be all important, I think, that we can have that bit of creative flair, because you see he's got a bit about him, and I think some of the best the best link-up play we've seen in recent times, as I said, was with him and Johnson. I feel like he's bringing Johnson into the game more as well, because
he's looked better
instantly, because he feels like he's got a purpose when he's attacking now down that wing, and you've got a bit more confidence we might get a decent ball in, or at least get a chance off any cross that gets put in. But I think it'll be massive for him to really step up and show that I deserve to be in the starting 11 here at Celtic, and I can rise to the occasion. But
aye. I just hope that, I know you were going to speak here, McGinlay, but my point in Kieran is, no matter if it's a good game or a bad game, I just hope people don't blow his performance out of fucking, because you know what's going to happen. He'll either play well and people will start putting this pressure on him that he's the best fucking player we've ever had, or he'll play badly and he's done again. So I just hope whatever way it falls, that isn't the case.
It needs to be a happy medium, and
just let him grow in confidence, let him get better, and that's what he's been doing.
I actually think it was quite poor from the club not saying that he had those dental issues and medical problems.
I know, that was news to me, yeah.
I think he's kind of sick of talking about it now. You can see that in the press
what actually? I don't know if Nicholas can watch it. So what actually happened? He's
getting his wisdom teeth taken out, but the thing is,
and he lost like weight.
He lost 9 kilos.
That's
a stone and a half.
That's a lot of fucking weight.
Now he's only 5'7", 5'8".
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot when you take his height into it.
That's nuts.
And he's a winger. He's very slight, so he'll have had to put that weight back on. Apparently, he couldn't eat for 12 days after getting his wisdom teeth taken out. So I'm guessing. I don't know, but he looks like those teething issues. I used that pun before, but those teething issues are certainly away now.
Bastard.
No, well, it's true though. It's true, literally and figuratively. But that right hand side for Celtic, I was doing an article the other day. It's all happening down that right hand side, from Carter Vickers playing as the right centre back to Johnson to Nicholas Kuhn. Those three, if you take on ball value into consideration, I'm just looking at the diagram here, they're all in red, which means it's warm colourings, which means they're getting good scores. They're getting good. Alistair Johnston's been Celtic's best player over the 5-6 games. What is it?
It's no use being cold.
No, absolutely.
No. It's cold in the middle there. He looks half
Awata, yeah.
He's blue.
he's but you're going to start singing there. But Johnson, I think Johnson's been Celtic's best player over the past 5-6 games.
No, he's been good recently, He's started.
This is the best he's been for Celtic, I think, since he's joined the club.
Really?
I think he's just
better
been so solid. Apart from that one game against Hearts, but everybody struggled in that.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good, especially second half against Motherwell recently at Fir Park. he really drove the team on. You had John Kennedy talking about him being one of the leaders in the group, and that doesn't surprise me because he puts himself about when he speaks as well. He demands to be heard, and I like players like that. Maybe a future captain in the offing, I'm not so sure. But
lovely guy.
Yeah, he's just
lovely guy,
and he's an absolute pit bull on the pitch, which is brilliant. And you need players like that in this game. He's going to understand the assignment on Sunday. As long as he can control that, which I think he can, then I think he could be one of Celtic's main players on Sunday.
Before we get on to final thoughts, and I don't even know if I'm going to bother asking you score predictions, to be honest.
Please don't.
I don't want to be that jinx, especially with him sitting there.
I'm not going to say 6-0.
But you'll say
6-1.
No, what I was going to say, a couple of wee other things that we've been floating about. What did you make of Ali McCoist? He was loving it, wasn't he? Was that you said he was?
A very silly comment.
I know. Didn't think it through, did he? I don't. I'm not even like. Do you know what annoys me though? I spoke about it very briefly. It's not like I went on a rant about it. I don't really care that much. I'm not a fucking snowflake, right? But like, I brought it up in my video yesterday, just saying it was a careless comment. You should really think it through. And I think that a lot of people misunderstood my point. I think a lot of people think that I'm all for this new Scottish law, and I'd like to clarify that was not the point I was trying to make. Thanks. Just listen to what I'm saying, please. Thank you. There's only a few people in the comments, but they jump to conclusions. But Ali was loving it. You looking forward to seeing him at the weekend, Kieran?
I'm sure he'll be there in full voice with the 48,000 other Rangers fans.
He's not going.
Has he not going?
No, I've seen that earlier on.
He's done a U-turn. He's not going.
Oh, has he changed his mind?
Yeah. Very silly comment from Ali McCoist. He should know better, especially even though he was on TalkSport, and I know opinions get flung out like that, but he must have known saying something like that would have.
He's a dafty. He's a dafty. That's just why I hate when people. I quite like it.
I'll make the point, and somebody made the point on Twitter, and I completely agree. If it was other people that had made that comment, there would be an absolute uproar. Don't even need to say who, but we all know. But it's the. I don't want to go too far into it.
He's a darling though, isn't he? He's a media darling, so guess right. And then I think there was a couple of other things I wanted to bring up as well surrounding the game coming up, but I feel like they've just slipped my mind. Any final thoughts you just want to get out there at all?
We've done it twice without Calum and Carter Vickers. Let's do it with him this time, because he didn't play neither game.
That's nuts, isn't it?
I know. Done it with Liam Scales and Lagerbielke. That'd be nightmare fuel now if you were to put that back. But now it's going to be Carter Vickers and Scales.
What was two centre halves when we played them in December?
Was it
Welsh and Scales, but then Dabrowski came on.
Aye, that's right.
They actually put Welsh and Scales for a large part of the game were looking really, really good because their passing was quick, their distribution out. But we've got the cheat code back. Cameron Carter Vickers is the cheat code. I'd quite like to see him score. I'd like anybody to score.
I don't really care.
No, I know, but I just it's been such
fucking
a
Mikey Johnson could be recalled and scored for all I fucking care.
That I'm just delighted to see him back in the fold. He's going to be a massive player for Celtic from now until the end of the season. Same for Atati. It's almost as if we've lost our spine, but the spine's coming back.
The spine's back. Any final message or thoughts, Kieran?
No, I think I covered it.
Covered everything.
The thing I was wanting to say was about Kuhn, but covered that.
Covered it. Well, at least you've
said my piece.
To say. I was expecting a passionate speech. Tell him to get stuck in.
I wonder if Chris Boyd will be enjoying being amongst his own fans on Sunday after the
game.
Big time.
Usual. Right, and that's the derby preview then. I hope you've enjoyed. I mean, we're going to go into the half-time quiz and that now. We are trying to keep this week's episode, well, I'm trying to keep this week's episode as blunt as possible, so apologies for not maybe going to the same extent as we normally would. You have me to blame, leave these two boys alone. It's time for the half-time quiz.
Have one of you's got Messenger loaded on your laptop?
No, but
I can send it into the chat and then we've got it on a bigger screen for you to.
Oh, right, okay. So do you want to explain what we've got today then?
So today we've got what do we call it? A Tim Tacto there,
yes.
that one.
Yes.
I don't believe it's not called Celtic Tacto.
Well, Tim Tactos just rolls off the tongue.
So
nicer.
we've got the two of them heading up against each other. I don't know if we'll have a graphic on screen, but I'll read it out.
We've got it. Yep.
So, just for the viewers' sake, here in case Ryan hasn't got time to make it.
I might have time. If I don't have time, please don't abuse me. Please be understanding.
If you want to imagine this, then there's Celtic, Hibs and Fulham are the three teams on the way down. Then up top you've got Australia, the Champions League, and no, this is not my words, right? But this was what
Wait, is
Kieran
it Champions
messaged-
League / European Cup or just Champions League? I'm assuming
European Cup as well.
Uh-huh.
And then Kieran said to me, top right is the 6 counties from the north of Ireland because I'm refusing to recognise a made up country.
Okay.
So right, okay.
So
So,
it's
is it like players that have been capped for the Northern Ireland national team, essentially?
And
Right,
do they
okay.
need to win
well,
the
I don't-
Champions League or make an appearance?
it'll be win. the
Win,
Champions
okay.
League.
Right, okay. How we got it? Rock, paper, scissors? to
Go
decide
rock,
who's
paper,
going
scissors
first?
between yous.
Are you ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Bastard. Right, McGinley's up first.
I'll go the middle one.
Right.
Ronnie Simpson
That's good.
Ronnie Simpson.
played for Hibs and Celtic.
Hey, I know that, but I didn't expect you to go that route of everybody.
It was what I was thinking of
Aye.
the most. I was like,
Right, well, I've got to be smart about things, and I mean, you can go in any direction you like.
can
Really. I'll
is
go
there
for.
not a way you can draw on this?
No, it's on Messenger, but I'll.
Jeez, what I done. Right.
I'm gonna need this just for,
right, so you've went for Ronnie Simpson in the middle
you
square.
just drawing that.
Right, okay.
I'll go
Okay.
X then.
Aye. I'm going to go for the Australian and Aussie, Hybe, and I'm going to go for Martin Boyle.
Okay.
That's mine. Thank you.
I am going to go for Celtic and all the counties, and I'm going to go Paddy McCourt.
Oh, it's a good shout. It's a good
Oh,
shout.
and I'm putting emoji on this instead.
These Aldgens with a Snapchat. I've not even got a fucking Snapchat anymore.
It's alright, we'll count the line as the as a cross.
Are you struggling there, son?
There's no working, boys. Oh, no! Put a lens on it.
What are you doing,
Fix
man?
it. Fix it, young one.
It's okay. Well, I see the line.
So
that's a
Ryan's
cross.
gone for a die. I've got to get
Right, so you need to get
Aussie,
film
a
and
film,
Australian.
an Australian film. Oh, Mark Schwarzer.
Yep.
Oh, you beauty. What a fucking shout, by the way. Mark
Good shout,
Schwarzer.
good shout.
Aye.
Oh, we've got the emojis now, but it's okay.
So I need a so I need a Celtic and a Australian.
Okay. I wonder who.
I'll go for Aaron Moy.
Who was it? Angels. I'm not fucking getting you a manager.
Okay, so the wee emoji.
Give me a emoji. Right, so
Oh, that's brilliant.
can you
Oh, that's
let's see. So you've got. Oh my god. This is right.
Why did you?
Oh, that's
you've
so
given
easy.
so many ways to win.
That's so easy.
I've got this, haven't I? So I've only got they two, and you've got they three. You can win a couple of ways. You could win here. Like I'm done. I'm finished.
It wasn't very smart.
That was not smart at all. This has been terrible tactics. I'm just going to go Celtic European Cup. Billy McNeil.
Okay.
Get it done out the road.
So you're a circle.
Yes.
And
It's done anyway. It's finished, isn't it?
so I'm looking for
The reason I done
counties
counties for
and
Fulham.
Steve Davis.
Did he play for Fulham?
Yes, that's who Rangers signed him from.
Ah.
So that's won that one.
Aye, great. What a fucking laugh that was. That was brilliant,
I
that.
named a Rangers player too. That's terrible, isn't it?
Why did you not go for, like, I was going to what, no,
I was going to say
he's...
Cyrus Christie,
no.
but he's Republic of Ireland, isn't he?
I was thinking of, like, Stephen Ireland, but he's Republic Ireland as well. Well done, Ryan. Well done.
Can you
You
name
guys-
any other ones?
I mean, what was left? Just...
Fulham Champions
Fulham
League.
Champions League. Wow.
Oh, God.
Trying to think of anybody. I've got one, I think. Would that be that time?
Who are you thinking?
Harvey Elliott.
Oh, aye.
Was he there in time for the Champions
Did they get him
League
from Fulham? Yeah, because I think he went on loan
Aye.
to Blackburn.
Ah, Hookie's a fuck.
And who was the other one?
I don't know because I never got gain any answers there.
Fulham Champions League. There will be obviously a few people that have passed through the door and played for them.
Yeah,
you know, in passing.
I'm thinking towards the end of their
Of
career.
careers, like, but I can't think off the top of my head. There's only one way to find out. Well, before we go into the Twitter questions, Kieran, can you not think any now?
What was the other one? Sorry, what was the other one that we didn't do? Counties and
Counties
Hibs.
and Hibs, I think. Aye. Which Fulham
I
players?
mean, you
have
could
won?
have went.
John Arnorisa.
Steve. There's only two, I think, and it's Steve Finnan and John Arnorisa.
Both Liverpool.
Oh wait,
And then-
Louis Saha apparently is one.
That was in 2017, that's the thing, so it might be before.
Who cares? Do you know what? I don't
I
care.
do, I'm checking.
Right, I'll check what you want. Time for Twitter questions. As we said, we're just kind of powering on with today's show. Thanks for your beautiful hosting duties, Kieran. I really appreciate that. Right,
Oh no, he was running up.
first question from our good friend Dylan from uni, Dylan Murdoch. And I'll let you
Nobody
answer.
here.
What?
Nearly been
I
years
know,
since.
time flies, Right, Kieran, if a Calmac doesn't play on Sunday, do you start Iwata with Hatate and O'Reilly?
I think that is the option he'll go for. I don't think Bernardo would start the game, to be honest, even though he did score against them in December. But I think after the performance at the weekend, I think it was solid enough that we spoke about it as it's obviously harsh on Iwata to get dropped, but the captain needs to play. But if for some reason he wasn't able to come back on Sunday, I think that is the midfield three they'd go for.
Agreed.
You're just saying the same, aye?
Yeah.
And then finally asked predictions for Cody and Roman. They will finish the story.
Seth and Cody won't win on the Saturday. It's got to be It's got to be bloodline
Spit
rules.
out, son.
But there'll be a lot of surprises, I think, on the Sunday. I think like Cena and that will come out. And
I don't. I'm not
Stone
getting my
Cold.
hopes up yet.
It's got to be
Yeah, shut up.
Jason Kelsey. Maybe
He's got to come in and spear Roman, aye.
Gronk.
Aye. Doogie says, if you had to choose a match that we lose against Rangers, what one would it be out of the following three? Ibrox, Celtic Park, or Hampden in the cup final if we both made it? That is a horrible question.
I know.
By
Hampden.
every sense of the word. But I think I'd sacrifice the cup for the league title.
Absolutely.
Aye, so I'd pick the
I think
cup.
the board would as well, to be honest.
Aye, true. I think, it's not nice losing any.
No.
How about none?
Aye, can we pick none?
It's not answering it.
Thanks.
None of them.
Cheers, Dougie. Let's not manifest any of these thoughts. Thank you.
It's a bit of a defeatist attitude on Derby week. Come on.
Ad the lad, as always, he's in. Hello, Adam. He says, any bother with a Polish at the Livy game? I don't actually remember seeing any. I don't know about you, Kieran. I don't know about you, Press Ryan either, but
Aye. It's a wild one.
chaos, aye.
I actually didn't even see any of those.
Polish watch on the Sellik, this became a thing now, innit? Like Polish watch here. I don't remember seeing anything. I remember the steward though. He was quite funny.
The fire steward, like I've never seen a man so up for. As soon as the flares got lit behind the goal, it was go. This was his time to shine. The vest was, everybody could see him in his big red fire steward vest, but I mean it wasn't the bit. I mean I get he was kind of caught up in the moment, but he took his water bucket and then instead of taking it out to where the flares were so he could just promptly put them in, he was doing wee 6 metre sprints back and forth.
I don't know why he left it at the corner flag and then he would go and get the flare behind the goal. I'd take a bucket with you clown.
Try to burn some calories.
Aye, well, they make
Got to
it
get
look
your steps in
Make
somewhere.
it look dramatic. Cal is in as always, and he says, with a fully fit squad, do you think playing the likes of Kelly and Hearts will be easier compared to the last few times we've played them?
I mean, you'd like to think it would be easier, but I mean, Kelly's going to be away, isn't it?
Aye, I think so.
We're due to play them away. Hearts will be at home, but I mean, we've been beat after them at home, obviously. Not the best of times for us, but I don't know. You like to think it would be easier, but the way this season is, you don't know,
you never know
what's coming up. So
I'm not looking forward to the split.
Oh,
I don't even
though we'll have
I
three
don't
home games.
I don't mean that in a pessimistic, pure like we're shite kind of way. I just mean like I'm not looking forward to it because at one it's dropped a point. It could be fucking.
who's currently sitting in sixth?
I had the table up a minute ago now.
Dundee.
Currently, it is Dundee. Yes.
How many points is it between them? And
They have a game in hand over Hibs in 7th, and they're a point clear. So it's going to be either Hibs or Dundee.
So
We've played Dundee. That'll be at Dens. That'll be at Dens.
run through who the so we need to
Right,
play, we
now
have
the
Rangers
current
at
top
home,
6,
Hearts at
right?
home.
Rangers, Hearts, Kelly, St Mirren and Dundee are the
What
current
about
top
St
6.
Mirren? Have we played them?
We've played them at St Mirren Park, what, twice? No, once? Once?
Did we not play them in the cup?
Played them once and then
Oh,
once
it
in the
did.
cup.
Cup. That's
so
right.
we'd be due. I mean, it's no guarantee they might might have gave us it at home, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was away. See, one thing that's also not spoke about, this game on Sunday's probably going to determine who is getting the final home game of the season as well, because if whoever's top of the league gone into the split,
Oh, aye.
they're very likely to give them the final home game
Aye, oh God.
instead of making them play away from home. So I think
Great.
that'll be interesting.
Great, innit? Aidan says, with the third league derby of the season now always seeming to be in April, are the last two league derbies too close together? Especially as we always seem to have a derby in the cup around this time too. Do we need more time in between them?
I think it's just with the split, to be honest, the way the split goes.
No, it is, yeah. But does it bother you though?
More the merrier. I love these games.
I think it's just that this is usually the time of year when you get all the English fans saying,
they play about
Celtic
500
Rangers
times.
play each other every week and that,
Aye.
because we'd end up playing them 3 times in the space of like 12 days or something. But do you know, it's been pure weird this year, because actually the games have felt really spaced out.
Oh, because it feels like an eternity ago.
I feel like we
that
should have had them in the
game
League Cup and
Yeah,
then an upcoming Scottish Cup
No, I agree.
semi-final against them as well.
I
But
agree.
nah, I don't know. I think I don't know if I like it.
I have one opinion, and it's I just wish we played each other twice in the league a season, and that was it. I hate this 4 times a year pish. I don't like. I agree with English on that point. I fucking hate that we play each other 4 times. I think you should get one chance at each other's ground, and that should be it. But obviously we can't do that because the league's so small, so it's not really like a.
Got to either reconstruct the league, but
Yeah,
that doesn't go with the broadcasters' wishes.
No, of course
They want
not.
as
No.
many
It's a
games
completely
as
different
possible.
debate in itself. I just wish that there was a world where we could be like 2 games against each other, but makes me feel more important. Like you've only got, imagine that, like you only had like twice rather than 4 times to make it right. Oof, that's box office that. But anyway,
But it's just as much box office playing them
Nah,
again.
not a question, Max. This is not a question. Just want to let Kieran know his sandwich place suggestion was spot on. The Coronation from Peace absolutely slaps.
You're welcome.
You should be getting a wee free sandwich for that, son.
Royalties and all that.
I was meant to go today and I never got to go.
I've not tried the Coronation one yet, but that Cubano one, just unreal.
What annoys me about Coronation chicken is the fact I love it, but it's the currants or whatever it is. It's raisin, whatever it is. It's in Coronation chicken.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, have you never had Coronation chicken? The sauce is nice.
Years ago, but no enough to actually know what.
The sauce is nice, but there's
constitutes it.
like wee bits of like currant through it, or wee bits of raisin or something,
Is there?
or seeds. Aye, I'll tell you right now what it is. I'm going to look it up. Coronation.
I mean, I don't know, but I'm really hoping you're wrong, because that'd be pretty.
Oh, there's something in it. There's like dried apricots.
Ooh.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Aye, because I was loving it, and then I hit one of the apricots, and I was like, nope, no, thank you. Aye, anyway, glad you enjoyed, Max. Glad you enjoyed. Conlon, if you could pick one, I'm not going to drop the H-bomb because that can get me done. If you could drop one former Rangers scalper back on Sunday, who would it be? I mean, mine is always just the same answer than Dembele.
I'd say Kyogo's just as much as one.
But
Wait, is this this isn't the question where they ask the specific era of players? But
No, I
I thought it was that one.
I'd go with Dembele.
I'd go for Sinclair.
Oh, okay.
I think I'd go with Dembele then.
Aye, get the goals. Aye. Best derby under Rodgers and why? It's the first one still.
Like the 5-1.
Aye.
I can never decide between that or the 5-0, to be honest.
5-0 for me.
5-0 was
Still
class.
won the league.
5-1 though is sentimental me 'cause it was my first derby, so I've got to pick that.
What's your first derby,
That
man?
was my first one. Aye. What was your first one?
It was a defeat 2011 against
right, aye.
the one where Vice took a quick kick. I think it was
Aye.
Ledley that scored.
Right,
Jelic. Shit.
It was a 2-1 win, May 2010. It was a meaningless one. My
Aye.
granddad gave me his ticket. I think it was Lee Naylor and Mark Antoine Fortune who
Oh
scored.
God,
That's a throwback.
that is a throwback. Aye. What is the plans for Derby Day? Says Liam.
Work.
Work Mexican.
I don't think he'll be going it.
Nah, dissertation.
Aye.
Well, I'll be at WrestleMania. Thanks.
Do you want to talk about it?
I don't know much to talk about. I mean, this is not a wrestling podcast. I'm not going to bore everybody, but I'm buzzing. Can I wait? I'm going to be there to see the story finish in front of my eyes. And Boo Drew. I like Drew.
He's going to
It's going to
pick
be
you
a
at the
terrible
crowd.
weekend for him.
What?
He said he's going to pick you at the crowd in your Celtic
My
top.
Celtic top, aye. Drew!
Ryan Fitzsimons.
Ryan, you're wearing a Celtic top in that crowd.
What's that accent all about?
I'm going to kick. He's lived in America for 20 odd
I
years.
know,
like, well,
I know, I'm joking.
What, 18 years? Do you think, here's a question, my own question, if you lived somewhere, right, so you move somewhere right now, this minute, right, and you're there for 18 years, do you think you're losing your accent?
Nah, not now.
How confident are you in that ability?
Absolutely 100%.
Really?
Yep.
I reckon I'm a bit of a wanker. I think I would be. Give me, did you say 18 years? Give me 18 months.
Come back in the podcast for a one-time appearance. Like, who the fuck's this?
Try to wipe off the Scottish. Just like
Get off. What's your pre-match meal for Sunday, says Kieran? I don't know what about this Sunday, but usually it would just be a fry-up, to be quite honest.
A Marlborough.
A Marlborough.
balcony.
A Marlborough. I don't think I've got a balcony, to be fair. It would be a fry-up normally for me before an early derby game. Don't know about yous. Sometimes it's just booze.
Well, a rolling sausage for me, I think, will get me going.
I feel like I forced in like 2 pieces. Like if I know it's like at Celtic Park, I'm gonna be going out after it. I know it's like the only thing I eat all day, so I force it down. But then I feel pure sick anyway. But I don't know. I feel like I'll just wake up feeling heavy sick, so I won't want to eat.
A few more questions to get through. How long are we on, Kieran, by the way?
45 minutes.
Oh, wow, I was right when I said we'd fire through today, because there's not too many left. Charlie says, in Paris for the game on Sunday, does anybody know where to watch it? Les Celtic Supporters Club.
Sky Go.
If you're a Sky Glow if you're a Sky Go or a Sky Glass customer, press that red button.
Is that what Kieran was saying?
I don't know. I've not been to Paris, so
I never want to go to
Probably
Paris.
your best bet for checking is Celtic Bars.
yeah,
.com.
look up Celtic Bars and you'll find
They're
something. That's how I
really
found
handy.
somewhere for Philadelphia. But I mean, I'm no
There's
gone,
a French Celtic supporters hang on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Celtic
So
fans.
Charlie, get
Celtic
yourself. There you go. Here's your help, son. Greg Enthusi said, if you could bring back, if you could bring back one of these players for the game on Sunday, who would you take? 2020 Odsonne Edouard, 2023 Jota, 2018 Kieran Tierney, or 2017 Moussa Dembele?
I think you have to go.
Edouard
was on fire at the start
I know,
of 2020.
I know.
But Dembele's Dembele as well.
I'm boring as fuck, I know, but I'm taking Dembele again.
I'm taking Tierney.
He would.
Tierney
to
and
be
Johnson
honest,
on
all
each fullback.
4 of them were close, because I was thinking about 2023 Jota, to be quite honest. But I mean,
He was cracking.
so all 4 of them are just fucking brilliant. So
I'll go something different, say Edouard then.
Drinking these
But-
questions, Carter Vickers will come up in the next few years. Like if he does go,
maybe,
then
aye. What we got to say, Kieran?
It depends. Are we talking Edouard early 2020? Are we talking Edouard at the end of 2020?
Oh dear.
I'm guessing that's when it was 3-5-2 with Lee Griffiths.
Lenny Ball.
Lenny Ball on its best.
Here, apart from the Copenhagen game, they looked absolutely
Oh, we
brilliant.
did, aye.
We were robbed of a potential scalping.
Nah, we were. That could have been the biggest. That could have been the best. And we robbed it.
I mean, that Rangers fan simulated it on Twitter on his imagination.
I genuinely
we took an early lead, but they won 5-1 against us.
was it Tavern who missed a penalty as well? Okay.
Penalty Rangers.
But I seen that recently. I thought I'd made it up in my head.
Fever dream.
Woke up in a cold sweat.
It's the fact he actually done it in real time.
We weren't even in proper lockdown at that point either.
I know.
He was probably still at work.
I just find it hilarious how he done
Billy,
it.
you've got to get back to work. No, I'm
He'd
typing.
done it in real time. It wasn't even like he simulated through time. Like he was like doing it by the minute. Like as if
He even
it was
had like the match graphic.
I know.
You got to respect the commitment.
Oh God, fucking hell.
Glad I didn't have a stream for that game.
Jack Daly says, what's the best McDonald's cheese side? That's a good question, because I like a lot of the cheese sides, but I can never pick my favourite. I think I would go chili cheese bite.
I think the nacho cheese bites that they bring out
Actually
are the best ones by a country mile, and I don't think they get spoke about anywhere near enough, because the Christmas ones for me, I think, steal the camembert ones. They steal the spotlight, but when they wee nacho cheese ones come out, then I could demolish share.
And I like the normal. I like the standard mozzie as well. They're decent.
Because I don't go into McDonald's to eat them there.
Like,
if you're getting them delivered, they're pish.
True. You got one, Ryan? You can't eat cheese.
I like an extra cheese slice on my Big Mac. That's what it's to be honest.
That's my cheese
Does that count as your side?
Although I've got to give a shout out to the Kings of Burgers, Burger King next to the Horseshoe Bar.
Oh no!
I had the greatest double whopper I
No,
think I've ever had in my life. No pickles, no tomatoes, and no onions, but extra. It's basically a cheeseburger. My mum called it when I explained it to her the next day. But those barbecue patties, just so good. And
But Burger King is good, but I never get it anywhere. It's airport food to me.
That's probably where they make all their profits, but there's one in Coatbridge now, so
I'm at the drive-through.
To be
with
fair,
Burger
there was
King.
actually years where the only place you could get a Burger King was the Toon or Bishop Briggs. And now there's one at the Forge.
It popped up in a few places. They're franchising it.
don't know if I've mentioned it before, but do you remember? I feel like I have mentioned this before, so if you have heard it, I'm sorry, but do you remember when Burger King had a movie, a promotional thing with a movie like Spider-Man 2?
Oh, you brought this up before. I remember this. Aye.
You'd have the big boxes, like the actual.
I wouldn't
boxes.
remember it because I never went to Burger King, to be fair.
We used to get them in Benidorm. And I know exactly what you're talking about because when the Simpsons movie was coming in the summer of 2007, they done these wee statues, and it was like wee Oscars, but the characters were in gold, and then you'd press it. But the ones I had were in Spanish, obviously. So I was getting Spanish Homer and Dr. Hibbert and that, but.
Bumblebee man speaking English. No. 2007, man. What a time to be alive. What a year, by the way, 2007. Look back on that.
One last go of getting McGinlay to answer if this is your last chance, Nathan's getting
I don't like Subway.
Oh.
I've never... Well, I don't not like Subway. I've never had one
It's a
before.
sandwich.
I know, but I've just never... A sandwich is not a treat for me. It is not a treat.
Ryan, have you ever divulged on this podcast about what your Subway order was?
Oh, I don't need to expose myself like that, man.
The people want to know.
Go to Subway order, it's literally bread and you choose what's on it, surely. Well, now you know, Nathan. Now you know an anomaly of a boy.
I've been in Subway plenty of times.
You eat fucking cardboard, surely.
I like chicken. I'm purely... I'd be a great
I'll go to
T-Rex.
Subway and get fucking chicken.
I say I'd be a great T-Rex, but chicken's about... No, T-Rex, that would be cannibalism, to be fair, so...
I think this calls for us to fire up the TikTok again. We'll each do what I eat in a day. And for the amount of time we spend on this podcast talking about food, I think the people need to know.
The amount of Easter egg I've had in the past couple of days, it might be the reason why I've got a sore stomach now.
Nathan, I'm sorry, I try. I will answer though very quick. So when I was younger, right, I went to Subway for the first time. I was like 9 years old maybe, and I had no clue what you'd really done. I know it was make your own sandwich, but you're a wee boy and you're kind of shitting yourself to talk to the stranger at the till and all that. So I just started picking everything that I liked, right, and I loved tuna, so that was like the base to go for. So Ryan, I'm sorry because you don't eat a lot, so you'll probably think this is like
I do.
Horrendous. Well, you know what I mean. So I picked tuna, cheese, lettuce, pickles and barbecue sauce. It was quite the combination. And it still holds up. I tried it a couple of years ago for a laugh. I ordered it to the flat.
Don't say that. Don't gaze that.
It does.
You ordered this well into your 20s, Ryan.
It holds. No. When I turned about 13 is when I think I actually stopped getting it. But because I found out chicken tikka existed, and that's just the way to go.
Chicken tikka cheese,
but aye,
sauce. That'll be news.
Nathan did guess that yours would just be Italian, just ham cold. But
Mine, probably.
Lucy asks,
give it a go.
Is Ryan planning to go to Clash at the Castle? Hopefully. I have a feeling getting tickets is just going to be nigh impossible, but we'll see.
You're not going to the Euros, no.
Fuck that. There's wrestling on.
Fair.
Scotland. I told you, I'd rather go and watch the game with
It's
Germany.
See, that was like the final nail in the coffin of TSF there. Like,
I wind up
somewhere Buick has just felt it.
No, I didn't.
Somebody go back and look up the TSF episode where you've made it to the Euros and Ryan and David go and sit down at a table and Ryan gives it this scream. Go and clip that.
I remember
and
that.
Tweet him that.
I'm joking, I'm patriotic, man. I just don't care when it comes to the friendlies.
Just on a side note, can you believe it's been like nearly 4 years since your Football Manager stream? That Football Manager stream.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Unbelievable. What great times.
Aidan asks me, what am I going to do if Robin beats Cody? Probably jump from the top tier of Lincoln Financial Field. Good question for you, Kieran, for your man Liam. He says, what's your go-to pint?
Right now I'm feeling a Menabrea. No, you don't get it everywhere, but a pint of Menabrea just...
That's nice.
It's different, man.
We've only got 2 more questions. From what we've seen so far, do you believe Bernardo's done enough to justify 6 million?
Not 6 million, no, but I think if the rumours are to be believed about him, then he's doing enough in training to warrant Celtic wanting him permanently. If that's the case, then bring him in, because I think Matt O'Reilly will be gone in the summer. A full pre-season, I think, will be the difference. Without having to compete with Matt O'Reilly next season, I'm presuming Hatate's going to be there for another season. He'll be ready to go and start most games, I think.
Kieran?
Obviously, 6 million does seem high for the contribution he's had this season, but it then raises the question: fans want us to go out and spend money on players, and if we're willing to go out and spend £6 million on a backup player, does that give you encouraging signs that maybe it's shifting to the fact we might increase the transfers budget? But that's just wishful thinking.
Aye. Right, going to wrap that up there for the questions. Thank you, everybody. We're going to try and power through this end of episode quiz now to finish this off and get me up the fucking road. But thank you for your questions. We should be back hopefully to talk about the derby next week when I'm back from Philadelphia. We'll see what happens. If not, then we'll be back the following week, but surely hopefully next week. To get your questions in next week. Enjoyed that there. He's ready for the quiz, boys. It's you two against each other this week, and as I would always do, because I'm the courteous quiz master that I am, Ryan, you did win at half time, so would you like set A or set B?
I'll go set A, set the tone.
Okay. Just a reminder very quickly, the league table, Kieran, if you win today, it would take you only 2 points behind McGinlay at the top. But McGinlay, if you were to win, you would go 8 clear.
Where are you in the table?
I am third on 9 points. So here is the table and all of its glory. You're top with 16, Kieran's second and 11. My question difference isn't doing too well.
Quiz has played 8, but you're third. But Calum's only had 3.
Aye.
That's why he's at the bottom.
Well, shut up. Right. So, did you say set A or set B, McGinlay?
I went for set A.
Okay. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. We've got a wee introduction. As we come to the conclusion of the first proper title race in over a decade in the Premiership, this won't get on camera, but how many windows do you have? Oh, right, okay, I've not read that part.
For audio listeners there, Ryan did have his fingers in quotation marks.
I did. So tonight's full-time quiz will have a focus on the particular first title race in over a decade that Rangers fans love to talk about so much, the 21-22 campaign. Are you both ready? Right, McGinlay, your first question I'm going the wrong way. Your first question as follows. Question 1. August/September. Who was the first team in the Scottish Premiership to score at Celtic Park as they took a point from Glasgow on September 26th?
I believe it was Dundee United.
It was Dundee. Good memory. I would
Liel
never have
Abada
got
scored
that.
for Celtic.
Yep, a draw, one each draw, Dundee United. Kieran, your question 1. Which player scored in Celtic's first 2 games at Celtic Park versus Dundee and St Mirren in comprehensive 6-0 pumpings?
Which player scored
in Celtic's first 2 games at Celtic Park versus Dundee and St Mirren in comprehensive 6-0 pumpings?
Was it Kyogo or David Tubman?
It was Odsonne Edward. That's who it was. It was before he left. He was still here. So a good guess.
That was a bit of a confusing question.
I know, I'm very confused by the wording in that.
Which player scored in Celtic's first 2 games at Celtic Park versus...
Did Kyogo not score in both games?
I think he only played in one of them, didn't he?
No, in fact, because it was Abada that scored a couple in one.
I didn't see what was going...
Turnbull got a hat-trick in one of them, didn't he?
Aye.
9. Kyogo got a hat-trick against Dundee.
I thought the question was worded fine, Kieran. No, you, Kieran, never Kieran, but well, you didn't get it.
Okay, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. He's not going to kick up fuck because he's mature. Question 2, McGinlay. Who scored Celtic's first away game who scored Celtic's first away game winner in the Scottish Premiership under Ange? This is in this section, October/November, by the way.
It was Jota.
It was Jota.
Adam Montgomery assist.
Kieran, to make it 2-1, how many games did Celtic win out of 7 in the months of October/November? I know, this is a stinker.
That's a bit lopsided with the question.
How many games did you say?
How many games did Celtic win out of 7 in the months of October/November?
4.
It was actually 6. Ooh. 6. The only game we didn't win was a draw against Livingston at home. We were actually on a decent run of form in October, November.
I just remember we were obviously further on the season, about like 6 points behind or something.
Aye.
So I'm guessing we played Leverkusen like September. Or is this Scottish Premiership? It's only Premiership games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right, McGinlay.
I didn't get that one.
We all remember Anthony Ralston's last gasp winner at Dingwall.
What bloody minute was it?
But who scored Celtic's first goal that night?
Abada.
Oh, well. That was quick. 3-0.
I was trying to see Spider-Man that night and missed it. I had the like sort of buffering on my phone. And I knew it was 1-0 when I went in. I was like, what the hell is it? Starfield? Get sent off. What has happened here?
Right, Kieran, you need it to stay alive. After the 3-week COVID break in December/January, which debutant scored versus Hibs at Celtic Park?
Dyson
Maeda is correct.
I thought he was so good that night.
It was. McGinlay. To win, question 4, February/March. In what minute did Rio Hatate open the scoring on that derby night at Celtic Park?
4. 5 in it.
It's the 5th.
I've between 4 and 5.
Oh, so Kieran, you've got a chance to put the pressure
See, I'm
on.
half right there because it would have said 4 point something. So I know I'm not, but
Right, still sticking in February/March. Who scored a perfect hat trick for Celtic in a late win over Dundee in February?
I have no recollection of that game.
I remember it. I remember it well.
Against Dundee.
Who scored a perfect hat trick for Celtic in a late win over Dundee in February?
Don't know. Kyogo. Yakimakis.
Yakimakis.
You should have seen them first, man.
I was hiding that, but I
left,
genuinely
right.
have no recollection.
So, McGinlay, you have won this week, but you've still got a question.
Scored a really late goal, a really late header, I think it was.
McGinlay, question 5,
Okay.
April/May. Who scored for Celtic as we clinched the title in 2022?
Oh. Well, that was Yakimakis.
It was Kakimakis, aye. Back to back, cheeky bastard, Kieran. And finally, Kieran, your last question to put you out of your misery. Our 2-1 win at Ibrox, which actually is 2 years ago to the day, sent us how many points clear?
I actually seen a tweet talking about that earlier.
Yeah.
Is it 6?
It was 6, that's correct, 6 points clear. So there you go, McGinlay wins 4-2 this week in the quiz. Hope would be a good score. Once Sunday.
Take it.
If you want to know what the tiebreaker would have been very quickly, is a slightly different one tonight in the 2021-22 season for Celtic. What was our goal difference in the league? If you were to take a random guess at what the goal difference was.
65.
Okay.
74.
Kieran would have won it in the tiebreaker by a goal because the answer was 70. So Kieran was 4 away and McGinlay, you were 5 away. We scored 92 and conceded 22. So there you go. That was both 2
That's a
reasonable
lot of
guesses.
goals, and we scored. Did we score even more in the next season?
Yes, a lot more.
Handball, innit?
Substantially more.
So
And-
he gets the sack from
and
Spurs,
that-
he'll be back.
brings us to the end of our quiz, ladies and gentlemen. And the end of our show. I'd like to thank you all for coming and joining us. Hopefully we're in high spirits for the next one because it could be fucking disastrous for all we know. Kieran, any closing words?
Get into them.
Get into them. Bring on the Rangers. McGinlay?
Don't get beat, please. I can't deal with it.
Don't get beat. If you've enjoyed, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. Remember to give us 5 stars on Spotify and all that jazz. Enjoy yourself. Be safe and don't get too pushed. We'll see you all next time.